Hey, hello everyone. Welcome back to Mindful Merchants Live. Hope you guys are having a great Monday. You know who I am, Cali Reseller Luis, and you guys know who this goofball over here is, the Lone Star Picker, Louie, and our
He's not
special
talking
guest
about you.
today.
I'm the goofball.
And our special guest today is Art Vandelay, also known as Dan.
What's up, guys?
Dan, Art Vandelay. I had to throw in a little cowbell. Let's have some cowbell. Like a little bit of it. Good to have you, Dan.
Well, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, not at all. I hope you don't mind. I put in the thumbnail. I did put your last name, and we can always change it. But I noticed your Instagram. You do allow that. So I thought, sometimes you mention it in the past.
Yeah. No, it's fine. It doesn't bother me.
Because I know you have, I heard you had these female stalkers that are just fans of yours, and they're going crazy. One tried to crawl through your window one day and wanted to know about all your reselling tips.
I don't know about all that.
No, we know that. We know you got a harem.
That sounds like some crazy story, Louie.
No, well, it came through the grapevine, and it kind of goes down here. But we're gonna find out from you because we want the truth. We want it all. We want to know who the real Art Vandelay is. We've heard it over and over. And for anybody rewatching this is Dan. And Dan, tell him where you're from. Give us in a little nutshell here. Give us just the state. We don't want your street address or social security number. Tell us where you're from. Where did that doggone name come from? I wonder. Let it go. Here it is, Dan.
Well, I'm Dan. I go by Art Vandelay on YouTube. I live in Indiana, Northwest Indiana, up towards I am about an hour from Chicago, so everything my life revolves around like Chicago sports and stuff like that. So if you're looking
are you a Cubs fan?
Yeah, I love the Cubs.
Wearing a Cubs hat.
Yeah, I got a Cubs hat on.
Oh my gosh, I couldn't tell. It was so great. Luis over here, my partner co-host. And you know why he's wearing the LA Dodgers hat. What happened this last season? But
I kind of thought maybe Luis would be wearing a Dodgers hat. So I was going. Plus, I thought I was like, I'll wear my Cubs hat. Luis can wear his Dodgers hat, but I have bedhead. I've been laying in bed doing some listing. So I have bedhead right now.
So you get to go to? Do you ever go to the Chicago area to go shopping? And is that one of your? And we'll get into it a little later more, but is that or do you stay more in your region in Indiana?
Oh, so for like thrift wise, I stay basically around my area right here. I'll go east. I won't go towards Illinois. Once in a while, I'll go to a Goodwill out in Illinois, but nothing. I always want to go to the city and go try out a Goodwill. Just to see what kind of stuff they have, but I just haven't done it. I was more before COVID. I was really part-time. So I didn't really go. I didn't venture out too far. And then now ever since COVID, everything's kind of weird going any place. So they haven't really opened up everything. So I don't really go to the city. I haven't been in the city in years, I guess.
So for those of you who don't know, Dan, I'm going to go ahead and tell them a little bit about you. That I've realized I've known you for like watching you, and I remember we would say hi a long time ago, and you're probably just starting to get used to me, and you're like, who the heck is this weirdo? But I've known you. I've been quietly watching the past since like before COVID. You've been on for quite some time. I want to say maybe not quite 2 years, but well, I don't know. Like, was it 2019? When did you start your
November 2019?
So it was around November. Okay. Say again?
I started doing videos in November 2019, but found this kind of, the rest of the YouTube channels. I found them in like July, August is when I started finding them. And then I jumped in November that year, started doing videos. Yeah, I've known you for, you were on my channel. You came on a live, you popped in on a live with me. And I've known Luis for a while. Luis, I remember I found Luis commented on my videos, and I hadn't seen his name, so I was curious. And I don't know if you remember Luis, I messaged you on Instagram. I was like, how did you find me? Because I might have had 100 subs, maybe 100 and some subs or something. Yeah. And I was still trying to figure out, like, how do people find me? Like, how are you finding me? And I hadn't seen him around. Not a lot of people you see around.
Who are you? Why are you following me?
I like him, so I was curious. And he's like, you found? How did you? I don't even remember what you said. Probably look it up, but I think it was just suggest. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, your video
that's a good sign.
Go ahead, Luis. That's how I found you.
Yeah. So I've known both of you guys for a while.
So you guys bumped into each other through the content creation aspect.
He commented. He commented it. So like a lot of times, when you're a new YouTuber, and he commented, and so I went and checked out his stuff. I went out and checked out his videos, and then I messaged him on Instagram and asked him like how he found my channel, and then we just started chatting, and now I see him all over the place.
I know, I'm all over.
Oh, Luis has been here all along. I've watched Luis almost probably not quite since the beginning of his creation, but I was kind of a lurker too, and I still am. People don't know. Everybody thinks I'm on there and blah blah blah. You can't get Louie to shut up. But I'm enjoying because we got some new prospects for the show, and let's just jump right into it. We were gonna go, and we'll come back to like why you call yourself Art Vandelay in a minute. We were gonna let you, but we're gonna, and then after that, we're gonna say hi to a few people here. Wendy's jumping right into it. She's got a question here. She's like, Art, she calls you Art. What has been the biggest lesson you've learned as a reseller, not necessarily a content creator, but as a reseller? That's a hard question, isn't it? That's kind of a.
So I don't know. I hope this is gonna, because I saw that before, so I was thinking about it. The biggest thing I've learned about reselling is I'm gonna incorporate content creating. I thought I was so smart at doing reselling, like I had it all locked down. Like I was super smart at it. And when I started creating videos, I just realized like all my mistakes that I make. And main thing is shipping. Like I struggle with shipping. Louie, you've messaged me about my shipping. I've had some bundles on my some stuff I ship. I'll do a sell similar, and I'll look at something. I'm like, yeah, it'll fit. It'll be fine. And then I'll just, there's no problem. Then I'll just ship it. And then when I sell it and I go to ship it, it doesn't fit in what I thought I was going to ship it in. I'm like, so what am I going to do now?
Have you been like since now, Dan? Have you gotten better at it? Would you say? I mean, you obviously must, because you're like, you don't want to lose money, because otherwise, why be in the reseller game? I mean, yeah, some people are the balance between the content creation stuff. Oh, just use, but how much? I guess what have you refined? Like, is it just familiarity? Is it rolling with the curve?
Well, just experience on doing stuff. I mean, I'm going to be honest. I'm not going to lie. I still there's some stuff that I still mess up on, and it's the stuff that I didn't really account when I'm taking. I don't really know how much it's going to weigh. Like, it just ends up being bigger or packaging it up, and it's just stuff I don't sell a lot. But all the stuff, the regular stuff that you ship all the time that you're constantly selling. I mean, I do flat rate shipping for all that stuff now, and it works out great. But it
helps a little bit, doesn't it? It makes a big difference. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, and then I've learned all that from watching YouTube. But like shoes, flat rate $9.99. Sometimes they cost. If I have to send them, I'm in Indiana. If I have to ship them out to like New Mexico and Arizona are like super expensive. And if it's a bigger pair of shoes, it might cost me $12 or $13, and I'll sit and I'll try to get it under. I'll take a little bit of the. I'll open it up and try to take out break the box down a little bit farther, trying to break it down a little bit. And
I found myself doing that this morning. I was cutting corners, and I'm like, and it really comes down to packaging, just like you said. And I'm glad. See, that's what I've been watching you. Like when I first watched you in lives and talking and stuff, one of your biggest issues I remember was shipping, and I'm glad.
It still is.
I appreciate. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. But I appreciate your integrity is because you're honest about it, and that you're still admitting that even as an experienced reseller, we do run across. Not that you're perfect at it, but I'm sure you're a heck of a lot better. We do, we do improve. But there's always, you're right. There's always going to be those challenges unless you somehow like overcharge or just compensate or just say that's just part of the business, and I'll swallow some of the costs, providing your returns, good enough. Like you paid a quarter, and I'm going to get $200 for this. I don't give a shit,
Yeah.
Real quick. We're going to come back to shipping, Dan. I just want to say hi because a lot of people popped in. Luis, as I pop these up, I'll let you read them. Is that cool? So we have
Wendy's here. Hello, Wendy.
Hey, Wendy.
Paul's here.
What's up, Paul?
What's up,
Flippin'
Paul?
Sports Guy says I'm here early. We got, as I call her Friegel peanut butter reseller, but she doesn't like it. Lord. Well, let me come down here. We got a few more. Okay, here, look who's here, right from San Antonio, Yellow Road, Texas. She is an awesome reseller. If you guys don't know, I'm gonna I'm going to try to get a Texas meetup one day. You know, and Dan, you're always welcome. You can put on your cowboy hat and come down. And it's like,
I used to live in Texas.
Talk about that real quick while we say hello. Like, so you live there?
It was only for a few months when I was like kindergarten, first grade, kindergarten, and then into first grade. My dad had a job down there, and I think he got transferred. And we were only there for maybe 8 or 9 months. I got transferred out of there. It was really nice.
The city? What city was it?
San Antonio.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean the most I remember about it is from his office. I could see the Riverwalk, and
oh, nice.
I mean,
you were down. Yeah, you were downtown San Antonio. Most of San Antonio, kind of loops around, and there's loops within loops. It's expanded. San Antonio is pretty big. We got backed by Silvers here. I love it. I love it. There we go.
What's up, VANDELAY?
I'm missing some people. I got to go back up because I put the. Okay, hold on. Okay, there we go. All right, we got Ella.
Hello, Ella.
Look who came in. Lady.
Hey, T. How you doing, T?
What's up, T? She does some wonderful auctions. Yep. She's a crazy reseller. I love her. And then we got, there she is again. That's Ella. Flipping. Okay, here we go. Here's a new one. Hey,
Hollywood. How you doing, Tino?
Hollywood.
Tino.
We all know Nate Pie's Trinkets and Doodads.
What's up, Nate?
Is that a cool name, you guys, or what? Like, just try to say that 7 times fast while drinking, you know?
I know, right?
I think Miss Taffy, how can we forget? We got our lovely lady. She got to meet Cali Reseller Luis last was it last month or
last weekend? Not this weekend, but the weekend before.
Most excellent.
Yeah.
Thanks for being here. Everybody's greeting each other. We got Misha, Renee, Misha. All right, and then who is this? We got Chandra.
Hey, Chandra.
Hi, Chandra.
Dana.
Thanks for being here. There. Wait, I just saw. I thought I saw. Oh, there she is, Miss Dana. She'll come on and sing to you. She's gonna come and sing some a cappella opera something. Oh, and we have Far North Life.
Hello, Anfisa.
I always say her name.
Anfisa. What's up, Anfisa?
I think you're saying it more proper than I am.
Yep.
So, so that was a good start to the question. So, the lesson learned would. So it sounds like the question that first came up. And anybody who wants to ask any questions, just put them in bold so that Luis and I can notice it, and we'll transfer that over to Dan. Dan is our guest today. If you guys don't know him, all his links are below. We got Instagram, we got his YouTube, and then we're gonna have a secret link to a secret link later on. We won't talk about that. But so you think that was one of your biggest lessons was mostly about shipping, which is I think it's one of the crucial things of being a reseller.
Another one is actually sourcing. I mean, when I first started, I was really trying to do more Amazon, and then I was so much gated and stuff that I ended up trying to like do retail arbitrage to eBay, and that was hard. Yeah. So my buying cost the first year was hard. So I've done a lot more. Most of my sourcing I do at the bins now, a lot of the time, and then I'll go to my Goodwill, and I struggle with that place a lot because their prices are slowly creeping up.
I'm glad you're mentioning that because that's something I have in common. I want to pick your brain on that too, because I'm finding lately I'm becoming more of like kind of a bins guy. One, because like you just said, and I'll call it the Goodwill racks, meaning like you go into the main, everybody thinks of Goodwill, you go into the store and there's these racks and bookshelves and and their shoes are totally incredibly high. Like if you're even trying to get into a different aspect of the game, but I never saw you as a Goodwill bins guy, but as I watched your videos, you do it. Is it there in Indiana? Do you have a bins?
Yeah, it's in Gary, Indiana. It's like about 20 minutes for me.
That's not bad.
It's not too bad. It's really, I always seem to do pretty good there. So I'm happy with it. It just, I mean, I just like Goodwill today, and I try to look for stuff that they don't know about yet, I guess. And the one thing I did learn about today, I don't know how it's gonna go though, is I bought a bunch of shorts. All their shorts, they didn't have shorts that were more than like $2.99, and then they have a tag sale every Sunday and Monday, and then it was with Easter yesterday they weren't open, so I thought I could.
Let me ask you this: did you try to go, or did you think about going on Easter?
I went there on Saturday, and I saw the sign up that they're closed.
Were you like, oh crap?
Well, I went out. I actually went out. I drove. I did a high bid pickup on Friday out in about 40 minutes east of me, and I stopped at a Goodwill out there just because I took a trip all the way out there to just do a pickup. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna go to the bin. I'm gonna go up to the Goodwill out here. So I went to the Goodwill out there, and I saw a sign. So then Saturday I went to mine just to see what they had. And then to make sure that they were going to be closed too, because the other one's kind of out towards the country, and sometimes out towards the country, they're a little bit more, like we're going to be closed today because it's hot. Sure. But so it was closed, so I snuck in there today, and I haven't done a lot of. I did more clothes during like the winter time, but I don't do a whole lot of clothes. But I was in there, and the shorts. I found 14 pairs of shorts for about $2.50 a piece, or $2.44 a piece. So I'm gonna try see how it goes. So I got those washing. They're in a dryer right now. When I get done, I'll
That's funny. You were like just before you're ready to go on on our show today. You're like, I gotta go source. But you know what? Luis used to call me and he was like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, I got all my stuff wrapped up Sunday night, so like I would go immediately because I knew I had to hurry up to come back for the show. Because with it, I think you're like. I don't know. You're a 20-something guest. We're trying to hit up to 30 guests, nice. Of this show. Yeah, and this is something. I think we've only missed one show because of the freeze here in Texas. I couldn't get any internet because all the electricity went. But it's like I have to kind of like pick the days that work best. What days do you pick that are good for you to go? Or is it just kind of random? Do you have a schedule? Because as a reseller, I've been talking to people about logistics, like. How do you have a schedule, and does that help you?
So the crazy thing is that I started doing in October is when I went full time, and before that I would just gotta go source whenever, like all the time. I mean, but like during that whole time of COVID, I didn't really source. But over the winter months, I focused a lot on. I used to buy so much stuff that. Yeah. I was pretty strict with myself, and I didn't go source a whole lot. I would once in a while I would hit up the Goodwill for like the 50% off sale, and those actually they used to be every other week, and now they're once a month. And but I would limit myself to maybe once a week. I would go to the bins, and usually I do that on Friday just because I don't know. I think it's right before the weekend. I decided to go. But I was pretty strict with myself of just listing through what I have, and I look at a lot of stuff, and I don't have a lot of great stuff. One of the big questions I get whenever I'm on a show or something, people always want like the biggest flip I've ever done. I don't do any of that stuff. I guess most everything I sell is like low end and mid tier stuff right now, and I'm just grinding. And I used to just buy so much.
Let's talk a little bit about that because I've been watching you over the few years. Real quick, we're just going to say hi. Guess who came here? One of our first guests. We had the Dapper Tiger,
Sam?
Also known as Sam. And Sam, if you guys don't know it, go to Dan, the a.k.a. Art Vandalay. Go to one of his past channels. His past lives. He actually had Sam and him did a nice little live back in the day. I remember that. I think you even may have let me on that or with some other one once in a while. And I just remember those good old days. We got Johnny, the Cajun reseller.
Hey,
of
Johnny.
Course, last week, was it last week or the week before? We had the week before, I think it was Flipping Accountant.
Yeah.
We did say Misha, and we got a few others that may have popped in and out. So, we can't forget the other Cajun reseller. So,
hey, Chris.
He is the plush king. And you know what? We'll talk about that later. So, yeah, those are all great things you're bringing up, because like I've watched, you kind of had this nonchalance about you. That's I'm going to put that in a way because I want to be polite because I will say this much. When I first started, I like, and it's because I started hitting more of the bins. Sounds like you're doing more of the bins too. And as well as I know, Dan, hitting the bins does what? You can find random stuff that you did. Like, I don't even know. Yep. What is it? How do you do comping there? Because sometimes I don't know, depending on what state you are or what situation you are, what I'm trying to say is the internet cannot like come up. Or did you ever what was the biggest issue about comping at the bins? Because you know how important it is if you forget your phone or anything, or anytime you source, really. But
at the bins, the internet's pretty good there, so I can comp. I usually go there and just like probably a lot of people, anything that looks interesting to me. I throw it in my cart, and then I go off to the side later, and I start picking through it and seeing what I like, and I'll start looking stuff up. Some stuff I know just from doing it, I kind of know I know it's probably worth something, and I do stuff too that I like. Oh, that's not gonna be. I end up it's not worth anything.
Great. That I call resellers' intuition, and I think that's part of the whole key of this. Like, we talk about mental strategies, but we also talk about mental well-being. But to be aware of your own, conscious awareness of going. You realize at one point, this is intuitive. I mean, I need to build that confidence level. I'll tell you one thing I struggled with was the confidence. Sometimes I would get myself in trouble thinking, yeah, I know this is good. And then it's not, and then I would doubt myself. And I didn't like the doubting aspect, but so it's that fine line of do you cherry pick? Do you kind of go, you know what? I bought this and I bought something similar. I need to roll the dice. It's not going to cost me much. Or do you just randomly just grab stuff, How are you getting better at that?
It's at the bins. I'm trying to be more picky, but in the back of my head, I'm always like, "Oh, this is light. It's not going to cost me anything. I'm just going to go take a chance on it." Mm-hmm. So I will do that.
Because you want to look at your COG. For those who are watching, we're talking about cost of goods. Anybody that's new to reselling or just learning and watching, your cost of goods at the bins are incredibly can be a very good low ratio for your ROI, your return on investment, right?
Yeah. So my bins are $1.29 a pound.
Speaking of which, you rolling the dice. Do you ever roll the dice on those things, and do you like that aspect of gambling? And we'll tell them, why am I mentioning gambling?
Well, I'm not a crazy. I don't gamble, but I worked in the casino business for 14 years, and I was in poker for 12 of them.
Oh, wow.
I did poker for 12 years. I've kind of developed the thought process of, if you play cards, you're not going to win every pot you're going to be in. So a lot of times you'll take stuff. I'll tell you, one of my last videos I filmed at the bins. I had something in my hand, and I didn't take a chance on it. And it was super light. I didn't really know what it was, and I didn't honestly think about it at the time. I had it and I just tossed it. And then Goofy Sells, she commented, she's like, "You should have grabbed that shark thing. It's worth $20." And it just looked like a plastic piece of junk. And I just thought it was some random kid toy. I didn't even think of it. And I was like, man, that sucks. I wish I would have thought of that. So. But I guess I don't even know why I told you that. But more.
No. That's good because I meet a lot of resellers. I've actually met content creators on occasion at the Goodwill bins. To me, that's a good thing because it becomes a form of networking. It becomes it becomes a form of information sharing, like you're saying. So that's a good share and thought because that's a mental strategy that a lot of people okay, there's another reseller. I'm going to hide what I have because or whatever, I don't want to share because I'm shy or something, But I think it's important that you do that kind of stuff. I mean, it's there. You can use them to your advantage. You know what I'm saying? It's why wouldn't you want to share? Mm-hmm. It's a unique thing. So you're getting used to the bins. What have you ever lost your phone in the bins?
No, I haven't done that yet. The bins were really tough at first for me. They opened up a new facility, probably maybe about 3 or 4 months after I started reselling. When I first started, I was searching. I went to every Goodwill, and I saw this Goodwill, and I went there and I found out it was the bins, and it was just big old cardboard boxes of stuff just thrown in there, and
So describe your bins because I'm sorry to interject, but every what they call a Goodwill outlet. Every Goodwill outlet with the bins are a little bit different. Some do have cardboard boxes. We have these big blue bins that roll. What do you have?
Yeah, we have the blue bins now, and they're not deep or anything. And but it's just I just go there and I don't get too crazy in there. I usually only spend about an hour in there. I know a lot of people camp out there for hours or a day. I just go kind of fill up my cart, see what they got. I never go fight for when they roll new bins out. I don't go
you as that either. I'm glad you brought that up. So we're gonna go ahead. I'm gonna And then I want to ask Luis to, he's going to ask you a question after I ask this. So regarding the bins, and we're mindful merchants. We're all about, you know, like what strategies can we like share with other new resellers, old resellers, people that are just maybe not getting like, I want to go to the bins, but I had a bad experience and maybe I'll go revisit it again. One of the things you do in your videos, and the reason I'm kind of tying this back full circles, you jokingly say, but then I always hear you say, what is this? There's a certain phrase you always say, something about like, this makes me nervous. And I love you about that. You're like, you do this a lot. So like, and it's funny because when I was thinking, I'm like, you go to the bins? I'm like, everybody that I've ever had, what was your first experience like? I always ask them, they're like, oh my God, that place was crazy. You know, like I go to one that people will like literally elbow you and, you know, and just, you know, like you said, and there's confrontation. I don't see you doing that. I mean, I could see you picking somebody up and throwing them, but you know, it's like,
yep. I know. How
has it been since your first? Let me just ask you this. What'd you say, Luis?
I said it sounds like something I would do.
Yeah. Oh, we won't go there. That's an inside joke.
That's another. Yeah, that's an inside joke. Yeah,
but I know Dan. Dan is to be reckoned with. Like Dan, if you piss him off, he will come after you, and you won't even know it. So like, you know, he hides a switchblade in his Converse sneakers. But can you just real quick, in a nutshell, like what was your first experience to like how you're doing it now? Do you think like because would you recommend, you know, how would you recommend, you know, your experience compared to the way you started to the way you're doing it now? It
was eye-opening the first time. The first time I went to the bins was very eye-opening. I think I went there 2 or 3 times without buying anything. Just walked around and just kind of looked at it.
You're absorbing that experience, right?
Yeah, and I didn't really know. I didn't know what I was looking for because everything was just piles. Like I still don't do a lot of sourcing of clothing there. I will go around where people already look through the clothing, and I will just like cherry pick through what they've already separated for me. They just have mountains of clothes, and I don't even know where to begin at looking for that type of stuff. So a lot of
one of those guys that's going like this because I found like fire deals that are worth like $200 t-shirts. So there's pardon the expression. Do you guys have those t-shirt rats that are only looking for, you know?
I was gonna say there's those guys. There's the guys there that look. They just look like they know what they're doing. I like to do a lot of the clothes I sell are a lot of stuff I source a lot of is jeans. I like to sell jeans, so I just go walking around looking for denim. And
do you ever find silver tabs or the orange tabs a lot?
I found silver tabs not at the bins, but I found those twice, and then I found the one I like to look for are the 560 jeans, Levi's 560s, and I found a few of those. I found 2 or 3 pairs one time at the bins where someone's already looked through and they left that. And another time I found wrapped up.
Those have a pretty good return on investment, right?
What, the 560s?
Yeah.
Yeah. Most of those minimum you're gonna get $30 for them.
There you go.
I've sold some up to 60.
Wow. So that's the fun about it, is like. There is kind of a different thrill than if you go to a yard sale. I mean, it's similar. It's parallel.
Yeah.
But like, there's a mystery when you go to the bins because you never know. Like you said, somebody may just throw it back, and you're like, "Thank you."
What you're going in there for, yeah. I mean, I went the one time I said I didn't go. I don't go when they push out bins. One time I was standing there and they were pushing out new bins, and I was right there, and I was like, "All right, I'm just gonna stand here." So I stood there, and they just had a massive amount of old stock of camera cell phone batteries, and I'm looking at these things, and there's a lot of people there. After you go a few times, you know who's reselling. I mean, they're there every time I'm there too, and there are a couple of people that are like, no one's gonna buy that, no one's gonna want those, and they all just scattered away from them. There was like this whole big bin of these batteries, so I bought them. I bought as much as I could fit in my cart that day, and
did you make money on it?
Yeah. Well, the entire day that day, I spent like $25, and I just sold one of the batteries this weekend for $17. And they've sold. I mean, some of them sold for $3 or $4, but I've sold some for like 20, 25, 10, 15, and they're easy to list, easy to store, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, because that's a scannable item. It has a UPC, right? Pretty much. Yeah. So let me ask you this. Are you thinking about doing this more? Because I've used to not have a threshold. And I was like, what am I doing? And then all of a sudden it was like, you know, there's my threshold. Now I'm at the bins, I'm learning, and it's like, it's made a big difference in my return on investment and like how much I need to list. Like, so, you know, the saying goes, the more you list, the more you're going to make. But like, if you list $200 a day, and it could just be 3 items, you know, that's a great day. You know what I mean? Like, if you keep doing that every day and you list, I guess my point is like, are you getting good at and better at throwing stuff back? Like, you know what I mean? Like in terms of cherry picking, because like you said, this one's only $3 and this and that. Or did you just like say, hey, I got to roll the dice on this, you know, just
I factor in
money, you know what I mean?
Right. One of my favorite channels to watch is Kevin the Commonwealth Picker. You know him, and I just like feel like I relate to the stuff he sells. Like he sells it, and he's always explaining it. He explains it so well about your time, and you know, is this worth it?
He's very methodical. Like he's really good. He's analytical too.
So I just kind of I look at it for how much time is it going to take me to list this? Is it going to be worth it? And most of the time, I mean, I'll do it. I don't really have like a threshold of like a dollar amount I want to make, but what I'm listing every day is a dollar. When I first started, I wanted to hit like a certain amount of listings, and I felt like if I have X amount of listings, I've made it. And then now I've gone to the part where 200, like mine's more like $120 a day is what I'm listing, is what I'm trying to list. I actually need to raise it. I keep talking about raising it because I've been doing that.
And that's where I was going to go with, like, mental strategies, you know, comes with mental well-being. Your well-being comes with, like, you don't want that anxiety and stress of like, shit, I'm not making enough money, or, you know, whatever, the algorithm's not kicking in with, you know, not so much because you're not listing. Sometimes eBay will do what it wants, but you do get it back when you put into it. I know that for a fact.
Yeah.
So I guess what I'm saying with that is, like, don't, like you said, maybe I guess I need to make do you keep, and I'm very specific with this word. I'm very tedious because I'm watching a lot of resellers, and it is a pet peeve of mine. And I'm not saying this, I'm right or they're wrong. I think in order to get to a goal, and then I'm like, and this is where I'm getting to, is like, I want to know your goal, Dan. But do you set daily aims? Like, okay, you know, you normally only list 120. Today I want to list 150 or something, like, you know, whatever, 140. Like, do you try to, and you know, and if you don't get the 120, but you got 135, that's higher than what you would have normally did. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So do you set, my question is for you, do you set daily aims so you can reach like maybe a monthly or a weekly goal? Because those weekly goals will peak you up into the month.
Well, that's what I meant by I should probably raise it. So when I started this, I got into reselling to pay off all my debt, and I paid off all my debt. And then
congratulations, yeah.
Thank you. Well, I always say that, but I do have a car. I do pay for my car, but no credit card debt, none of that stuff. And when I became, I was fortunate enough to when I was furloughed from my job to getting let go from my job. I was kind of in my head. I was like, I got to pay my bills off because there's a chance I'm not going to get called back to work, and that's what happened. And I wrote out everything I need to have to live, so I don't have to like give up anything that I've grown accustomed to living, and I don't like have an expensive lifestyle, and I need to make $62 a day of profit is what I need average. So I was listing $120 a day, but I've been doing that for so long is that because the other part of my thing is I'm not going to kill myself reselling. Because I'm also
exactly. I'm glad you mentioned that, because that part of that is like, there's a spiritual advisor that I talk to, and they go, do you want to expand and do you want to transform? Do you want to grow in your life? Yeah. Whether it's your business or your family or whatever, you know, the thing is you don't, unless you like stretch yourself, you know what I mean? It's like exercise. If you don't, and you know your limits. So it sounds like you're contemplating this all the time. It's like, but you know, like, will you reach that limit if you don't expand yourself? You know, that's part of the whole transformation, right?
Right. Because, well, the other reason is because I don't want to sit and just be listing all day or sourcing all day, because another big part of my stuff is my YouTube channel. I put a lot of time and effort in my channel, and I can't just like, it's been hard. You know, I did a video. I think I did a video last Wednesday. That was my last video, and I've slowed down on my videos a lot, but but it's a big part of. I put a lot of effort into it, and I don't want to abandon it.
Well, of course. So let's go there for a little bit. But before I do that, let me just say hi to a few people that did pop in. We got Who's Tom Cruise came in. Harry Humstone. Harry Humstone. He's here. He says, I'm here for Dan. That's it. And then reseller niche Mo came in. He's a really guy. If you don't know Mo, he's awesome. He's really, he's a sweet guy. Cajun reseller. I love him because he, that guy, he's a smart and savvy guy. He kind of reminds me of you in some ways. Where like doesn't want to come out and too much, a little bit. I won't say shy, but a little more reserved. And I appreciate that because you guys are not like me, where I can be obnoxious and get on people's nerves and and say the wrong thing, and then all of a sudden I piss off one of the big guys. Like, I'm not talking to you, or whatever. But it's like. It's fun, Aaron Kluge came in here, and he's always a great supporter, and he's also a reseller, and he's a smart guy too. Jen's Closet Gems has a question for you. Who's Dan's favorite female San Antonio Pokemon trainer reseller to watch? I wonder. Go ahead, answer that. Answer it accurately. Don't mess up on this one.
Jen's Closet Gems.
Wait, say that again.
Jen's Closet Gems.
We're gonna put you over here for a little bit. So that's great that you're doing that stuff. All right, we're gonna quit picking on you. We're gonna swap back. Well, let's do a little hoedown dance here. There was a couple more. Nate's was here. Nate Pies and Frugal. Who else? Gravity Goods. We got Cameron in the house. Super specific question, Jen. That was great, as he says. I don't know if you saw it. Yeah, those are some good things. You're bringing up. I think just us talking randomly and just kind of casually, more organically, just kind of talking about it. I think this is a good thing for anybody that's a seasoned reseller, but let alone new resellers. And if you happen to be watching this is the Mindful Merchants. Our guest here is Dan, better known as Art Vandelay. How did you get your name?
Well, it goes back to it's from Seinfeld. If you don't watch Seinfeld. But I had so I'm near Chicago, and I was going to a Cubs game. Well, I was going to a Cubs game, the rooftops. If you watch a Cubs game, you can sit on the rooftops. And I was taking some friends there. I was in charge of like hosting the party, and I had to give them like a name. And I didn't want to just say like my last name for the group name, so I told them Vandelay Industries because I'm a huge Seinfeld fan. And we got there, and I'm talking to my brother's buddy. He's like, "How did you get hooked up with this Vandelay Industries?" Like, dude, it's from Seinfeld. So he's like, "Oh, it's funny." And then so I just feel like that is pretty cool. And so this was my handle I used on all my everything I use, any username I have. I just signed up as Art Vandelay, and that was my YouTube name. So even reseller niche Mo down below says, how does anyone not know Seinfeld? Believe it or not, there's a lot that don't. But I will say this much: the first thing when you put in the word Art and Vandelay, you don't even have to put reseller. The first thing comes up is, of course, Seinfeld, and the next thing is this guy. I will say this much: you and I'm kind of going off on a narcissistic perspective. You and I have something in common. Did you know that, Dan? No, what is it?
Well, first of all, we're really great resellers. But aside from that, our moniker we're both content creators. I think you're the better one. And your moniker is red, white, and blue. So is mine. We both have stars in it. And unfortunately, I don't have my ugly mug in it. But
so you see I have a sticker right here. My original, one of my logos. I have two logos. So I have this one.
Yep.
Okay. I have this logo.
Oh, that's your older one, right?
I use it still too, and I got this made because I had my very first handles. I paid someone, and they made Art Vandelay, and it looked just exactly like Seinfeld logo. And then when I started YouTube, I'm like, I want something that's just me, I guess. So I made something like this, and then like a week later, I was like, man, you know what? Like, I told myself when I started YouTube, I'm like, I'm gonna do my channel for a year and see how it goes. I'm just going to power through for 1 year, and if I
you didn't randomly do this. You really gave it some good, intense thought, which is wonderful because I've seen a couple content creators. They're like, yeah, I'm going to do this, and then all of a sudden they go away.
Well, the biggest encouragement, if everyone in here, I think everyone's kind of, as content creators, right? Your biggest fear is no one ever watches your videos. It's depressing. It can be depressing when no one's watching your videos. And I didn't want to quit.
I go into it now. I used to kind of like, oh, nobody's gonna watch it, but now I'm like, I don't expect anybody to watch it. And I know that is defeating the purpose as a content creator. I don't know if I'll ever even reach, higher than 600. I don't know, who knows?
My first year, my goal was to get 200 subscribers because I hardly told anyone I even did a channel. I was working full time, so I wasn't like around. I was around in a few chats, but I wasn't really around either because I was working. I worked all the time, and if I wasn't working, I was trying to do some reselling stuff, and then I was trying to start my channel. So I wasn't around a whole lot.
And, yeah. I mean, but you did show up. I will say this much, and I'm learning to do this. And in the last 2 months, I've actually had people notice I stopped coming in for a while, and I did it on purpose. Was because, there's a couple people that came on, and I've talked to like Sam that was here, and he's like, it just takes so much energy, and it's like you can't be everywhere all at the same time, and not every group, necessarily clicks or whatever. And it's not that they dislike each other. It's not about that. I'm just saying it's just so much to do. And like I have people randomly write me on Instagram. They go, hey, da 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 da. I'm like, I don't know who you're talking about. I'm sorry. I'm not that well versed, and I should maybe know more, but I can't know everybody. You know what I mean? So how do you, Dan, talking about Art Vandelay, how do you keep up with the Art Vandelay industries and your reseller real life? You know what I mean? Like, because you have family, you want to spend time with your mom and your friends and things like that, and your dog, and and go out and do things other than just sourcing. How do you balance those two things? This is the well-being I'm talking about. Like,
I'm pretty bad at this.
See, and you signed, and that's. I'm glad you did it because that's a natural. I'm just trying to be honest, I think you're one of the more honest guys about this. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, because I mean, my biggest thing is I haven't figured out how to balance it out. I work because I'm trying. If I didn't prepare myself to be in a spot right now, I would be 100% struggling. I'm not gonna lie and be like, yeah, I'm crushing and reselling, because I'm not. But I'm paying all my bills, and I'm about even from what it was the last month to this month. I'm even after paying, because now I'm paying myself. I wasn't paying myself for almost over a year. And so I'm paying myself. So what I took out is about what I put back in. I'm even. Well, I'll be honest with that. So I haven't figured out how to balance that time. I don't hang out. A lot of my friends are the people I met on YouTube now. Outside of work, I see my friends. We make plans to have lunch and stuff. But I've always been like a homebody anyway. Like I kind of just hang out, and I do my side hustle. It was my side hustle because I love doing it. And I didn't
necessarily agree or disagree with this person. There was a person on our show, and he says, I'm going to say this about resellers, but normally they're people that they can't get along with other people, or they got their own problems. And I'm like, that's just totally unfair, because everybody, aside from being a reseller, does have a different personal aspect to their background. Everybody's mental well-being and how they're brought up and their background and their history are totally different things. It's not that they're difficult people. I just think there's challenges in life. And like when you started doing content creation back, like you said, November, of 2019, it wasn't a far stretch. Months later, like, you don't get to go out. You don't get to physically see people for a long time. You know what I mean?
Right.
So how did that stress, because you talk about, oh, this makes me nervous. And usually it's just like, oh, I don't want to sell this for less than, or I'm making a mistake kind of nervous. But like, how did that affect your anxiety levels? Like, oh crap, how is this, because I know you said that's when they stopped letting you do your job, right? Your casino job.
Yeah, like, I say I'm nervous about tons of stuff. I mean, I just live my life like, and I don't always. I'm just that's just how I am for everything.
No, I know. Some of it just that's just Dan's thing.
That's just how I am. That's just how I've always been.
But I believe if you put words out there and you manifest that, like there is a part of us that becomes what we say. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh
Does
yeah,
that make sense?
Yeah. I agree with that. It's just the way.
Even if you're joking.
I mean, I'm joking, but I'm serious though. Like, I mean, I'll just use an example for dealing. Like, I was super passionate about dealing like cards. And I was like, not to toot my own horn, but I was good at it. But every time I would go sit down at a table, I was nervous because I didn't want to screw up. It's the same thing with like reselling. I don't want to screw up, and then if I screw up, everyone's gonna see it, and everyone's gonna laugh at Dan because Dan did this, and it's not that I don't mind it. It's just that it's just in my head. That's just how I am. It's just how I am. I'm always nervous about everything. When I played sports as a kid,
that, though, because by you mentioning that, you're being honest with that, and by the way, I appreciate your integrity, Dan, because like I've watched you for a long time. I consider you, and Luis and I've talked about this guy's. He is who he is. He's full of integrity. And there's a nice aspect of it that's refreshing because it's not that you don't give a crap about anybody, but you are who you are. You know what I mean? Like you're being honest in that aspect of it. So I think it's go ahead, say that.
Oh no, he keeps it real. He is who he is.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I tried my first few videos. I tried faking it. I tried to like script it out and just not just. I'm going to do this. And I mean, I have bullet points.
They seem okay, but I can see where there's a little bit of different, where like your personality comes back into it. Like that's just Dan. Like, oh God, I'm getting nervous about this because I don't want to like lose $10,000 or whatever. I'm just, but I think it's great because, I'm just going to say this and then Louis take over, is that, his days of like, oh crap, COVID, what's this all about? Oh my God, I don't have a job anymore. Like you said, like, oh, I don't want to mess up because I don't want my manager to fire me or whatever, and I want to make sure I'm doing a good job because I don't want my clients accusing me of making, because, that's a big industry. That's a lot of pressure. So don't you think that sets you up for really becoming not only a good content creator, which, is about being in your head half the time, and a reseller about being content creating? It's just,
I agree with that.
There's that nice setup. I think you really, the stars laid out for you, I think.
I was super lucky because, I mean, I was doing reselling with the back of my head. Like, if I could just keep going, man, I could do this. I could do this for a job. I didn't want to, like, I liked my job at the casino, but I didn't like my job at the casino. Like, I like to be at home. I like to work from home. I like to hang out at home and do what I want to do on my time and not, I mean, it was super stressful having, when you're, I mean, who wants to be around a bunch of people losing money all day? Like, it's hard. It's hard.
Well, and not, I mean, I agree with you 100%. Totally. I could not even think about being in your industry because that is meticulous. I mean, it's tedious. It's you got to like constantly be on your game. And by the way, I just wanted to show you a comment. There's a gentleman by the name of Tino. His name is Cali Reseller. Luis has had the opportunity to meet him, but we both know him through our auctions and stuff. When he says what he says, he's really sincerely means it, because there's an aspect of Tino that I see, there's an aspect of you that I see Tino carries. And that is, he's very much like he wants to do things right. He's learning, he's constantly thinking things out. And I've spoken to him in private. He's a really good guy like you. You know what I mean? So and he says, thank you for your honesty. For many of us, to mess up, but, not willing to admit it because, that's what we talk about. It's like a lot of people won't talk about the talkabouts, and it's like, we want to put up show and this and that, and it's pretty. It's a lot of anxieties about that. So I mean, we don't get to talk about it all the time, but we look for people that are willing to kind of go, yeah, this is a business full of anxieties. It's like, oh crap, my postman didn't come or whatever. I've seen you like, oh my God, my dog's trying to get in. You're doing a live or something.
Trying to get out usually.
Because it's just basic life worries. Like, what would you say the biggest stressful thing in your life has been as a reseller, and what has been your biggest achievements getting over some of those?
My biggest is just the leap of faith and to just give this a shot, and just like I'm lucky. My mom's supportive of it. She doesn't understand reselling. She doesn't know why I like it. Like, I'm like, Mom, look at these old shoes I got. And she's like, what do you need these old shoes for? I'm like, I don't need them. Someone does, and they're gonna pay me for them.
Even to this day?
Huh?
Even to this day, she doesn't get it.
She just doesn't get why I like it. And that's one of the reasons I have my channel, just so she could see it. Like, she could see like what reselling is. She didn't really understand it. She watches all my videos. What was the other part of the question? I got sidetracked.
Hey, Topher. We got Topher. We got Mark Zygon Tiger. We had There was somebody. Sarcastic Storage Stacker. I've recently gotten to know him. I won't say he's new, but it's like he's new to me.
Hey, Sarcastic Storage Stacker.
I want to say his name is Russell. I want to say that maybe.
Yeah.
And those are those are great points. I mean,
Hi, Regina.
It's kind of curious, It's like, Luis, what you got anything you want to talk to him about? It's like, because I got 101 things, I can go on, so I want to shut up for a little bit.
No. I mean, yeah, we were talking about earlier how I came across his channel, and when he messaged me and stuff earlier, and one of the things that I liked about his videos is that he was sharing, like he's saying, man, I messed up, I lost money on this, and, he kept it real. It was, what, I messed up. Oh wow, lesson learned. And like you were saying, there's not a lot of people that actually like to show their their fails. I'm not saying fails, but when they lose money.
I appreciate that. Yeah.
Yeah, and everybody likes to show their home runs all the time. But, you also got to show, you got to show the good and the bad. And
but doesn't it kind of get sickening after a while? Not I won't say sickening, but not like you're, oh, shut up, I'm sick of hearing you always being successful. Because Dapper Tiger was one that I remember. He goes, when are we going to just talk about the difficulties and challenges, not necessarily your failures, but and Luis is right. Sometimes we just need to keep it real, and it's like, I think that's why I think you're going to be more successful. I think that's why you got 2,000, no matter how. It's like, because people do see you're not fake, it's like, you're trying to keep it real. And it's like, the day you put on a mask, we'll tell you, and it's like,
do that.
It's like, but we got Regina in here. Thank you, Regina, for being here. We love her too. She's got a great show on Wednesdays and stuff. That would be fun to see you on her show with Derek on Wednesdays. They're crazy. They got a wild and wacky side of just a fun, good, like, let loose, and it's like, thank God, something. What do you got going on in your life, like, that you want to talk about? Because we want to respect your time. We're getting close to that hour, believe it or not. What's going on in your life? Yeah, like, what do you got? Anything you want to share?
Yeah, every Wednesday I have Wednesday I'm going to do a video. I was part of the challenge put on by Bolo Buddies, where there's a few people, nice. Cali Reseller, Jen, she's still in here. I don't remember if I've seen anyone else that did it. We had an auction off. I had 5 items for 99 cents, free shipping on eBay, and we have to do our what sold video. So that's gonna come out on Wednesday, and then I do my live. It's a listing hangout with Joe, the Philly Picker, and Mike from the January House. We started this, man, it's been like 8 or 9 months ago. Joe,
have you guys been doing it that long? Really?
Yeah, it's been like 8 or 9 months.
Yeah,
I had Joe on my channel almost a year ago, I think. Was one of my
Explain to everybody that you guys you take turns, right? Like, it's on different channels.
We since about February we just do it on Joe's channel, the Philly Picker channel. It became we were trying to figure out. We had a lot of people who enjoy it, and then they were it was kind of
Joe's a good host. Joe's a good host anyway. He's a good
we
guy.
just wanted to just block it in one spot, and just so it's easier just to find it, I guess. But we just hang out. We're supposed to be listing, but usually
I love to pick on Mike. He knows, and it's like, and I'll come in there and pick on you and Joe too. And it's like, but you guys have a good rapport. You guys talk. How did you guys meet up, and how did this concept come up?
Well, Joe came on my show, or on my channel last year, and I kind of after the show, I just like talking to Joe. I was like, hey man, we should do this. Like, I don't know about every week or whatever, but we should do a show. And he's like, yeah. We just put it off forever. And then Mike, the 3 of us became friends, and Mike was started doing his auctions, and then Joe and I are like, Mike's really good at these auctions, because I don't like doing lives. Joe doesn't really like doing lives, but Mike's really good at the auctions. He runs his channel so well doing his auctions. So we're like, hey, like, we need to get Mike with us. So the 3 of us.
That's a perfect blend, because like there's this aspect of Joe which I never thought I'd see him go ahead and stay there and stick around and all that, but he's good too. And I love when he gives his input. He's like Luis. He's like, what he says, it's right on
Will's
point.
very good. Will's very good reseller too. Like he's just the stuff he finds and knows. Like he's good. Mike's good too. So it kind of became a just us. You know, it's kind of us just hanging out. We just wanted to hang out, and we just do it every week. And
you guys are so graceful. You let people come in there and pick on you, and you guys just, you know, you roll with the punches, and it's like you make it fun, but it's like you didn't make the intensity anxiety, but like, oh God, did we get that stuff listed? Although you'll talk about it, like, how many did you list? You know,
you know, I don't list the first one we did. I sat here, I waited that day, and I stood here and was trying to list during the show, and it just didn't work. And by the end of the day, I couldn't stand up because my feet hurt so bad.
Oh God, it's crazy, isn't it?
I get I don't do my listings. More, I guess it's like we've turned into background noise for people. I guess why they list or take a break, and then I get my listing done later. Like I have everything. I go into the show. Like when I start the show, I get everything I'm going to list for the day pictured. Sometimes I do drafts, so I can just list it. If
I'm gonna say, like you really can do stuff. Like there's times where I'll decide I can't focus today, or this or that, or you know, we all as resellers we kind of go through these moods and funks. You know, Luis is probably like, oh yeah, okay, Louie, you know, just get with the program. You know, boom. And it's like, I'll just go on a live or something like that. And then people come on, and I'll tell you what, I have people go, how many did you list, Louie? Yeah, this is a listing. And I'm like, you know what? I don't want that pressure. If I want to come on and talk, I'm learning. It's still pertaining to reselling. And I'll tell you what, I come out with more drafts on a listing. I used to go a lot on OBX pickers, but then that became kind of more of a distraction because then the people in the live are blah, 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 you know. And like you said, it's hard to focus on that, you know.
Yeah. I just start everything you do in reselling. I mean, you're working by yourself. You have to be a self-motivator. You have to work on yourself. And that was, it's weird because it goes into dealing. When I was a dealer, I worked for my own tips. Like I could leave work whenever I wanted there. If I wanted to leave, I could just, when I was a dealer, then I became a supervisor. But as a dealer, you can just go home. But you know, you have to make a certain amount of money if you want to live, like pay your bills. And that's how recent. Like I get up every day, and if I got a list, if my goal is $120 of the listing a day, I know before I go to bed tonight, I have to list $120 of stuff. It doesn't matter when I do it. And
so when's your next aim gonna be? Let's give him a challenge, Luis. Give him a number, Luis. Here's our aim challenge for just try 1 week, like every day. What is your average, you know, raising the? Go ahead, Luis. Give him a number.
Well, I mean, it depends on what his schedule is because, like I said,
what he has too. Yeah,
what he has too. So it has to be something that he can do. So I'm not going to put a number out there. I'm just going to, you know, just try to do a little bit more from what you're doing now. You know, because when you set a number, sometimes it becomes hard, especially with, you know, different stuff going on and so all that. So, but you know, Dan usually
good point, Luis.
With all due respect and stuff, when they do their lives, they do talk and all that. But I mean, they get done. Even if he listens a few things, that's always a plus, you know.
Drafts were great for me because when I used to do it, I used to do it in the other room, and I would use my phone. But then I was like, because the other computer doesn't have a. Remember we were talking about this when you came in. I have this. You know, I don't have the, what do you call it? I don't have a visual camera, you know, on my computer, but then I would use my phone. But I need my phone to look up comps so I can, you know, so it's like, what a hot mess. So it's like, but I think Regina Michelle down below, she says self-motivation. Self-motivation isn't just getting to push yourself to list. It's the motivation to go, yeah, you know what, this week, if I'm doing about 120 times, how many days a week do you list? Even if it's just 5 times 120. So calculate that number and say, well, okay, how much more do I need to go up? Or would I like to see? Find a number. We challenge you, you know, so that way you can maintain your focus and elevate. It's like, you know, we're all here to encourage each other. We love seeing you, Dan. Thank you for spending this hour with us.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for asking me on. Really appreciate it.
Well, you've been on our radar for a long time. It's just hard to get everybody. You tell those cohorts of yours, those 2 knuckleheads, we want to get them on. You know, we tried to get Mike on once. Something happened where his schedule didn't work, and I tried to put him in, and we never got around it because people started, can we come on? I'm like, you know, talk about anxieties. It's like, for me and Luis, it's like to try to keep a schedule. It's not easy doing lives, you know.
It's like, I agree. Because, I mean, we do ours, and then throwing around thinking like maybe I should do something, and then I just don't want the extra pressure, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
you just go on nonchalant. If it works, it works. If it's about listing, it's like, you know, like that's why I make these weird thumbnails. Sometimes they don't even have nothing to do with anything, you know. And it's like, yeah, you know. So yeah, just thank you guys. If you don't know Dan Tomes, but down below, he goes by Art Vandelay on the handle of YouTube. Please check him out. Feel free to subscribe to him. Check out his Instagram. He, you know, posts there on occasion, and you can reach out to him if you have any business questions. What's that?
I'm the worst at Instagram.
Yeah, but you replied to me. You know,
I'm okay with that sometimes, but like trying to post on there, I feel like
No, you're good. Here's my other tip. I would say is and it's a suggestion. It's not a recommendation. Is use it like a marketing tool, because I'll tell you what, it actually has helped me up my numbers, but it's also helped me gain attention. So if you can put your spotlight on what you want, focus on, like, hey, when is it you guys do it? Tuesday or Wednesday when you guys do the hangout? You just say, today's the day. I'm not saying you don't, but like, you know, throw it up on your stories.
Joe does it every week, and then I'm like,
it's so easy. But you do is you take his story and you share it. It's on your stories. You don't have to do anything.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you're using it. That's what I'm saying is you got to use these tools, use them to your advantage. You know, like I think you're an incredible reseller, because whether you're making or losing money, you're still about the business. You know what I mean? Yep. I think that's important. I know you want to succeed, and you said you are moving up, and I think you're going to be, you know, even more refined, you know, one day. I think we all just need to kind of stick together and help each other, even if we don't see each other all the time. We don't get to. This is a luxury that we got to be here with you. So thank you for your time, Dan.
I appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
No, not at all. We'll maybe we'll book you in the future. We can't say when or what, but maybe we'll come back and we'll check up on your progress. We'll see if you move from this ratio to this, you know, threshold. Right. We're gonna see. And by the way, you guys, he's almost up at 2K, I think, aren't you? Or did you?
Yeah, I'm almost 1,900. Almost 1,900.
He's almost there. Yeah.
Congratulations, and
thanks for my hours, though. Just I still need my hours.
Okay. Well, you and I are going to do a goofy listing, like live or something one day. Maybe we'll do something.
Yeah, we'll talk. I don't know if there's any. I'm almost 200 hours left.
What?
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, you only need 200 hours for 4. Okay.
I need 200 hours left. But that was I don't like to do lives, and I make short videos. So it's the one thing. I mean, not one thing. If I could go back and I would try to make a little bit longer video, or maybe incorporate some more lives. It's been a struggle trying to get those 4,000 hours, but I can see the light at the end of the tunnel now. Getting close.
Almost there, man. Almost there. If you guys haven't seen
just
go check them
go
out.
ahead, Luis.
No, I'm saying if no one's seen on all of Dan's videos, go ahead and check them out. Let's help him get to his goal finally. You know,
and he makes playlists. So playlists, if you guys are not familiar with it, anybody who comes in and like not familiar, just happen to be watching this, playlists, or even if you're familiar with YouTube, look at playlists. Just look through them, because there's a reason that content creator puts a playlist together. Like, for example, Luis and I, we make our own playlist and we put it in there under the context of mindful merchants. So just hey, what's this thing about mindful merchants? You had Dan on? Yeah, look at our playlist. Just look. He's probably episode in the 20s or something, you know.
Yeah.
And that way, you know, it's another way of kind of getting to see what you're doing. Like, I try to put my lives and this and that. Yeah. Dan, I noticed you make little playlists too, so those are helpful.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for being here.
Right. Yeah, I really appreciate you guys.
No, go ahead. Finish what you were going to say.
Oh, I was just going to say, like, I don't know. I took YouTube as serious as I took the reselling part, because I'm trying to learn. I'm trying to learn. That's why I'm not killing myself at trying to put up like 6-figure reselling, because I would just burn out and quit. Like, to be honest, I'll be fair to you. I would just quit because I'm trying to do the YouTube on the side too. Like I used to, when I used to have to go to my job, I had 2 days off a week, and you know, during the one night I would hang out as many whatever lives I could get into or hang out. I would chat in there, and the other night off of work I was watching and trying to learn how to grow my YouTube channel. Like that's
still hard and arduous. You know, it's an awkward balance, but I think you're getting the balance. And I would say my only other suggestion, like Luis and I talk about, like, how do you keep accountable? Well, do you keep an accountability schedule? Do you keep things do you keep notes or a journal?
I keep no, I don't keep a journal. I have a couple calendars. I'm supposed to be keeping what do you call those things? Like
You got a
momentum
nice
board.
empty space above Winnie the Pooh. I'd love to see an accountability board next time, because I noticed you sit here. Don't you sit there most of the time when you do your lives from where you're at right
Yeah,
now?
you know, I got stuff I'm supposed to hang on the wall over here, and I just don't ever do it. Yeah, I
Zip.
yeah, you know, I mean, I know, I need to write down more of what I do. I mean, I'm not gonna.
Oops. Sorry about
I'm
that.
good at like I kind of like. I mean, I shouldn't say it all.
Well,
the time.
it's just discipline. It's like once you get into like doing a habit, it's like making your YouTube and reselling.
I'm learning everything as I'm going. You know, like
no, I think you know it. You get it. It's just a matter of just accomplishing it, and like that could be part of your daily aim. So like the start, I would suggest. The only reason I'm recommending is if you put up an accountability board, just put like a Sunday through Saturday, and you can just like keep little tabs on how many I want to list. Did you meet that? Even if you're like 1 or 2 under, then you know, okay, tomorrow I'll make up for it. That's motivation enough. You know, like okay, oh look at the sales today. You know, compared to this day. But then you got like a little note section at the bottom, and it's like, oh yeah, I got to do this or this, and that'll help you. I think, you know, for all of us, like for me, it does. It like helps me like, how much time am I going to 20% on YouTube today? You know, another 25 on reselling, maybe 30% on reselling, focusing, and then I got to go. I need the other 25 to go out sourcing. You know, it's like, and then you got to sleep in between sometime, right, or eat. You know, so it's always about the balance. Yeah, it's hard. So that's part of the mental strategy. We got a guest from United Kingdom. Big Girls Really Do Cry. If you guys don't know her, she's awesome. That's Lainey. I've done lives with her, and she's here to see Dan. So thank you, Dan. We appreciate it. We don't want to take up much more of your time, but my co-host over here, he's a teacher and a dad and a reseller full-time, and is a principal. And
I'm an ass kicker. I'm the enforcer. You know, I'm
and
everything.
a Dodgers fan. I don't know how he does it all.
Yep.
You know.
Go Cubs.
And we'll forgive you with the Cubs reference. We'll let you go this time. We're gonna throw in some Texas Astros. I know Luis loves the Astros.
Oh no.
Dan, it's been fun, dude. Thanks for hanging out. I feel like I never get enough Dan time, and it's like, so we thank you for. We know you're a busy man, you know, and so we wish you the best of luck on your journey. We can't wait to see you reach 5K pretty soon. By the end of this year, you're going to reach it. You watch.
I hope so. That'd be cool.
That'd be awesome.
That'd be crazy. I don't know, but I hope so.
All right, if you're on, you got to bring a bunch of people on. Bring us on, and we're gonna root you on the whole way. You know.
All right, cool.
We love you, dude. All right, you be good. Thank you for being here.
Thanks.
Any last words, Dan? You want to give any recommendations to any resellers or anything you would like, you know, advice or suggest tips? You know.
No, I don't think so. I just I appreciate you guys having me on. I appreciate everyone in the chat hanging out with me. I don't know. I'm not really good with words.
Learn a lot. He's a humble guy. All right, guys. Thank you so much. This has been Mindful Merchants. Luis, close us out, dude.
All right. Thanks everyone for joining us for another Mindful Merchants. If you guys want to get to see more of Dan, check out his YouTube channel and check out his content. You know, let's get him to his goal. He's almost there. So appreciate you guys coming in week in, week out. And don't forget, tomorrow we'll be having our auction for Tuesday night auction on my channel. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. You guys have a blessed Monday, and you know, you guys take care.
Peace.
Bye.
See you guys.
See y'all. Bye. Take care. Thank you for being